I don't really know what Megan was expecting when she went on that island, but I thought Hannah was actually really nice about it. Stranded on Honeymoon Island UK episode 7, and the couples are continuing with movie night and they're getting to see each other in the speed dating. So Sam was speaking to his ex and she's like, oh, you're looking good, and he says, oh, so are you. And then he was saying, oh, I won't be happy if I don't end up with you, or whatever it was, right? Something along the lines. So Hannah's obviously like, what the fuck? We then seen Sam's ex Megan on a date with Oliver, and she's like, oh, you're a really attractive guy. Like, she did seem like a nice person, right? But she was like really flirtatious, as you would be on speed dating, I suppose. Then she was on a date with Maury, and she was saying, oh, like, my ideal man's get tattoos in a Scottish accent. Hannah's obviously raging because Sam already told her that Megan knew that he was going on this show, and that's why she applied for it, which, let's be honest, is fucking weird. So she was saying to the girls, she was obviously there for him, like, thank God she's not here. They were watching clips of Maury and May's date, and May was really upset because Maury actually says that she was his number one and he really liked her vibe and all that. So she's crying. Obviously she's gutted, right, because she really likes him and he feels really bad. Then Annie was watching a date between David and Tanya, and she knows that Tanya was originally David's number one. And after she had the conversation with Tanya saying, oh, David says that you were flirting with him, like, the whole situation's awkward now, so it wasn't perfect timing. Matt and Georgie are absolutely loving life. Nothing could go wrong for them at this point. The couples were split up and put on separate islands, so they're kind of suspicious that something's going to happen, but they're trying to be optimistic until they see a boat coming in. I must admit, I found this entire situation a bit unfair because only some people got visitors, and I feel as if there should have been a visitor for everybody, even though some people didn't have other matches. Like David, for example, his number one pick was Tanya. She's already there, and he's coupled up with Annie. But in this episode, he was talking to the boys, and he was talking about if he likes Annie or not. And he says, I really like her, but do I like her because we're in this situation? Like, would I like her outside this situation? And I thought, that's a wee bit worrying. That's a wee bit strange. Isn't that something similar to what Oliver was talking about before? They didn't really go too much into it. It was just like a quick thing that he said. And I just remembered what Oliver said about him not really liking her that much. Helen got a visit from one of the women at the speed dating that she really got on with. And she was just so lovely. And she was very forward, very honest. She says, I really like you. I think we had good chemistry. And Helen said, at the speed dating, I felt like we were on different paths in life. And she says, well, I'm looking for love and you're looking for love. So, like, is that different paths? And she's like, oh, you're making me blush, right? Now, I know that she likes Abby, but realistically, after they had the conversation about Helen not wanting kids and Abby saying, I would have swiped on you, and also during the speed dating clips, Abby says that she wasn't really that attracted to Helen to start off with, but this other woman's like, I'm attracted to you. Hello, I'm here. I felt as if the two of them actually had really similar kind of bubbly personalities, and I felt as if they made a better couple than her and Abby. Keep in mind, we only seen them together for like 2 minutes, right? So what do I know? May got a visit from another guy that she liked at the speed dating. I think his name was Zen. I'm not sure. But it showed you clips of them and they were dancing and stuff, and he really liked her. And she was saying how Maury doesn't fancy her, and he says, oh, you've got a really pretty face, like, I fancy, I like you. He's being very forward, right? He wants to be on the island where he likes her. This is what she wants. She wants somebody who really likes her. So I was just so confused by her reaction. It's very clear to everybody that she really likes Maury, and I have also been in a situation where you like somebody and you get on so well and you like them so much that you find it so impossible that the feelings aren't reciprocated, because you think, how can they not feel this feeling that I'm feeling? It's absolutely bizarre. So, you know, I'm with her on that, but at the same time, Maury has made it clear that they're just friends, and I think it would have made it even more difficult for her, because at the speed dating, he was saying that she was his number one pick. So in the back of her mind, she's maybe thinking there is a chance, like, there is a chance. Like, if we just were not on this island, there's a chance. But realistically, there's absolutely no chance. And it's a shame. It's actually a shame for both of them, because he's trying to be honest with her and she's just like, she can't take it in. And it's just a shame. On the other island, they got a visit from Sam's ex, Megan. And who was on that island? Hannah. Hannah seen her coming and she's like, holy fuck, here we go. They were all sitting at the table having food. Megan seemed really lovely and he was saying like, who's your top pick? Who did you really like? And she says, oh, I'm not going to give it away right now. But she says that she fancied Oliver, Maury and Matt. Now it is possible for somebody to not have a type, but Oliver, Maury, Matt and Sam, there's no similarities there. Hannah was sitting eating dinner and she was fucking raging, right? She is not interested in this whole scenario. She's just thinking, this bitch is here to fuck with me and I'm not here for it. Megan was asking who's coupled up with who, and she must have already known that Sam was there because she knew that there was like an awkward energy going about. At the very start of the show, Sam told Hannah that his ex was at the speed dating, and she said, did she know that you were going to be here? And he says, just as a courtesy, I told her that I was applying for the show. So, is it possible that she filled out the application form saying that her ex had also applied for the show, because now all of a sudden she's also on the island with him? Highly suspicious. If I was Hannah, I would also be thinking, oh, she was very flirtatious with several people at that speed dating. She's also been very flirtatious with them here. If she's trying to get her claws into anybody near Sam, just for a better chance to getting on the island. Now, I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just saying that's how I would think if I was Hannah. Megan says, I'm not here for Sam. He wasn't even in my top picks or whatever. And Hannah says, but you knew that he was coming here. Why would you want to go and try and move on and date next to your ex instead of having like separate experiences? And Megan says, oh, I'm not bothered about dating next to him. But it still makes absolutely no sense for her to apply for a show that she knew he was going on. Especially since she says that they were rekindling something when he broke it off to go on the show. And that's not what he says to Hannah, so she's like, she's talking shit, right? Now, we don't know what they said, we don't know what really happened, but just, if I was Hannah, I would also be annoyed. I felt as if Hannah was just being honest with her, and I am all about honesty and just telling people to their face how you feel. And she says, I don't mean to be a bitch about it, but I'm just letting you know. And then Megan says, no, I would rather you just said it to my face. But then when Megan was speaking to the camera, she says, Hannah's a really strong woman or whatever, but there's a way to speak to strangers or like a way to speak to people that you don't know or something. And I was just thinking, is there? Is there really? Because had it been me, I would have says, how are you not embarrassed? Apparently he's been out for less than 6 months. He told you that he was applying for this show, and then all of a sudden you're in the speed dating and all of a sudden you're here. Seems like stalker material. I'm not saying that Megan is there for Sam, but just when she said the comment about like there's a way that you speak to strangers or people that you don't know, I highly disagree. Because if it's on my mind, you're going to know about it. And if I think you are being creepy and stalking your ex on national TV, that's what I'm going to say. That doesn't mean to say I'm right, but I'm still going to voice my opinion. The people who got visits were then told that they could either stick or twist with the visitor. And Maury, he's single, he's not interested in me, and he's obviously thinking, right, I might as well give this a go with Megan. May should have been doing the same, but she's like me, fiercely loyal, even though there's nothing there. She's feeling the spark, and she just can't believe that he's not feeling it, and it's an absolute shame. But Oliver's also thinking about twisting. He's been inside Tanya several times. What the fuck, Oliver? What the fuck? Helen doesn't know what to do because she really likes Abby, but the woman who visited her also liked Abby at the speed dating, so there's a triangle situation. In the next episode, we find out who twists and somebody flares out. It's probably Maury. He's had enough of the whole fucking stranded situation. But let me know what you thought of episode 7 and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye!